Welcome back to Dreamy Train Tales. Thank you for joining me tonight. Now let's settle down and begin our journey together. If this brings you peace, please like and subscribe so we can explore more historic railways together, but only if it truly helps you unwind. And if you'd like, please share in the comments where you're listening from and what time of day it is for you right now. If you genuinely appreciate these journeys, you can support my channel by buying me a coffee through the link in the description. Every coffee helps me improve and create even more relaxing adventures for you. Thank you so much for your support. Tonight, you find yourself standing beneath the high arched roof of Vienna Westbahnhof as evening settles gently over the city. Soft amber lamps glow along the platform, their light reflecting off polished stone floors and the dark, gleaming sides of the Orient Express. Snow from earlier in the day rests in quiet piles along the edges of the tracks, slowly melting into thin streams that glisten under the lamps. The air carries a faint chill, mixed with the comforting scent of coal smoke and warm metal. You hear the muted sounds of departure around you, low conversations in many languages, the distant clink of luggage being set down, the soft hiss of steam escaping from the locomotive. Porters in dark coats move calmly along the platform, their footsteps unhurried, their motions practiced and gentle. Everything feels deliberate here, unrushed, as if time itself has decided to slow for the evening. Before we begin this journey together, take a moment to settle in wherever you are. Let your body rest into its seat or bed, feeling the support beneath you. Allow your shoulders to drop just a little, releasing the weight you've carried through the day. Take a slow, deep breath in, and then let it drift out naturally, without effort. There's nowhere else you need to be now. As you step aboard the Orient Express, you feel the warmth of the carriage wrap around you. Plush velvet seats welcome you, their deep tones softened by lamplight filtered through etched glass shades. Polished wooden panels line the walls, smooth beneath your fingertips as you move down the narrow corridor. The gentle sway of the carriage is already present, a promise of movement to come. You find your seat by the window and settle back, allowing your spine to relax fully. Outside, Vienna waits quietly, its grand buildings silhouetted against a deepening blue sky. Inside, the carriage hums with a calm, almost whispered energy. This train, first introduced in the 1880s, quickly became a symbol of refined travel, connecting the great cities of Europe with unmatched elegance and comfort. Tonight, you are part of that long tradition. A soft chime sounds somewhere down the carriage, followed by the subtle closing of doors. The locomotive answers with a low, steady breath of steam. You feel a gentle shift beneath you as the train begins to move, slowly at first, then with growing confidence. The rhythmic clicking of the wheels finds its pace, steady and reassuring, like a heartbeat guiding you forward. Vienna begins to drift away, streets and lamps sliding past the window in a slow, graceful blur. Snow-dusted rooftops give way to darker stretches of track, where the city softens into shadow. You notice how your breathing naturally matches the train's rhythm now, slow and even, without conscious effort. As the Orient Express glides westward, the countryside opens gradually around you. Beyond the glass, fields stretch out under the pale glow of evening, their surfaces lightly brushed with snow that sparkles faintly under the stars. Small villages appear and fade, marked by a handful of glowing windows and the distant outline of church steeples. Each one passes quietly, leaving no urgency behind. Inside the carriage, everything feels hushed and composed. A steward moves softly down the aisle, footsteps barely audible against the carpet. Somewhere farther along the train, porcelain and silver rest neatly arranged, waiting for later hours. For now, there is nothing demanded of you. You rest back into the seat, feeling its gentle support cradle your body as the train carries you onward. The tracks curve gently through the outskirts of the city, then straighten as the landscape grows broader and more open. You sense the train settling fully into its journey, motion smooth and continuous. The soft sway from side to side becomes almost hypnotic, easing tension from your neck, your shoulders, your jaw. This route, linking Vienna to the alpine regions beyond, was already well established by the early 1900s, carrying diplomats, artists, and quiet dreamers across borders and landscapes. Tonight, though, the journey feels personal, intimate, shaped only by the sound of wheels on rails and the passing of winter into something softer. You allow your eyes to grow heavy as the view outside darkens further. Snow-covered fields blend into one another, the horizon dissolving into deep blues and silvery greys. The warmth of the carriage contrasts gently with the cold beyond the glass, creating a cocoon of comfort around you. As the Orient Express continues its steady departure from Vienna, you feel yourself drifting deeper into calm. The world narrows to the quiet pulse of the train, the low murmur of motion, and the soothing certainty that you are being carried forward, safely and smoothly, toward the mountains waiting far ahead. The train's pace subtly changes as it leaves the outer districts of Vienna behind, the steady clatter of wheels settling into a slower, more deliberate rhythm. You feel it through the floor beneath your feet and the upholstered seat supporting your back. Outside the tall window, the city lights thin and soften, replaced by scattered lamps glowing like embers against the snow. Your shoulders ease as the Orient Express begins its long, patient climb toward the mountains, each gentle curve drawing you farther from the day you have left behind. You sit comfortably in the softly lit carriage, where polished wood panels reflect the warm amber glow of the lamps. Brass fittings catch the light with a quiet dignity, dulled slightly by age and winter travel. This train, already legendary by the early 1900s, was designed for unhurried luxury, and you can feel that intention in every detail. The thick carpet muffles footsteps. The air holds a faint scent of coal smoke and leather, and the windows are sealed tight against the cold. You settle deeper into your seat, letting the warmth of the compartment contrast with the snow gathering outside. Beyond the glass, the landscape begins to rise. Gentle hills roll past, their outlines softened by fresh snowfall. Dark stands of pine appear, then slip away, replaced by open clearings where snow lies smooth and untouched. The train follows the contours of the land, curving slowly, deliberately, as if respecting the terrain rather than conquering it. With each turn, the rhythmic clicking of the rails becomes more pronounced, a steady, reassuring pattern that invites your breathing to slow and match its pace. This section of the journey follows one of Europe's most celebrated mountain approaches. The Semmering Railway, completed in the 1850s, was the first true mountain railway in the world, engineered to carry trains through steep gradients and tight curves without the aid of rack systems. As you glide forward now, decades later, you are traveling a route once considered a marvel of modern engineering. The train handles the incline with quiet confidence, its power steady and controlled, allowing you to relax fully into the experience. You notice the windows occasionally fog at the edges where the warmth inside meets the winter air outside. A gentle vibration hums through the carriage as the locomotive works harder, pulling the long line of coaches upward. The sound is not harsh, but low and measured, a distant thrum that blends with the soft clinking of porcelain somewhere down the corridor. You let your hands rest loosely in your lap, fingers warm and relaxed as the train carries you onward. Villages appear briefly, tucked into valleys and along slopes. Their houses are small and sturdy, roofs thick with snow, windows glowing faintly as families settle in for the evening. A church spire rises from one such village, its silhouette dark against the pale sky, then disappears as the train curves away. These moments pass quietly, without urgency, and you feel no need to hold on to them. The train moves forward, and you move with it, content to observe and then let go. The forest grows denser as the climb continues. Tall spruce and fir trees line the tracks, their branches heavy with snow, bending gently under its weight. Occasionally, the train passes close enough that you can see individual needles dusted white, perfectly still in the cold air. The darkness between the trees feels deep and calm, broken only by the brief sweep of the train's lights. You feel cocooned within the carriage, safely separated from the winter night. As the incline increases, the curves become tighter. The Orient Express leans slightly into each bend, a slow, graceful motion that rocks you almost imperceptibly from side to side. You allow your body to follow the movement, loosening your shoulders, releasing any lingering tension from your neck. The steady sway is soothing, like the motion of a boat on calm water, and your breathing grows deeper and more even. From time to time, the train crosses a small bridge or viaduct, and the sound beneath you changes subtly. The rails resonate differently over stone arches, producing a hollow, echoing rhythm that fades as quickly as it appears. Below, unseen in the darkness, streams and narrow roads wind through the valleys. You imagine them briefly, then let the image dissolve, returning your attention to the gentle pulse of the journey. Inside the carriage, everything remains hushed. Curtains hang neatly at the windows, their fabric thick and heavy, ready to be drawn later in the night. A faint reflection of your own calm expression appears in the glass, layered over the snowy forest beyond. You look, then soften your gaze, allowing your eyes to rest without focusing on any one detail. The train continues its ascent, steady and unhurried. Historically, this climb was one of the most demanding stretches for early locomotives, requiring precise engineering and careful operation. Even now, the route commands respect. You sense that respect in the way the train moves, never rushing, always measured. There is comfort in this restraint, in knowing that every curve and gradient has been traveled countless times before, carrying generations of passengers safely through the mountains. As the minutes pass, you become more aware of the subtle interior sounds that accompany the journey. Somewhere ahead, a door closes softly, cushioned by heavy wood and brass fittings. Farther down the carriage, footsteps move slowly along the corridor, then fade away. These sounds do not interrupt your calm. Instead, they reinforce it, gentle reminders that life continues quietly around you while you remain at ease. The warmth of the carriage encourages your muscles to relax even further. Your jaw unclenches, your brow smooths, and your breathing settles into a steady, effortless rhythm. You feel supported by the seat, by the steady movement of the train, by the certainty of the track beneath you. Outside, the snowfall grows slightly heavier, flakes drifting past the window in slow, graceful patterns, illuminated briefly before disappearing into the darkness. At moments, the forest thins enough to reveal distant slopes rising above the tracks. Their outlines are softened by snow and shadow, giving the mountains a gentle presence rather than a daunting one. You sense their scale without feeling overwhelmed. The Orient Express continues its careful ascent, threading its way through this landscape with practiced ease, as it has done for years. As the train climbs higher, the air outside feels sharper, colder, though you experience it only as a contrast beyond the glass. Inside, the warmth remains constant, wrapping you in quiet comfort. You draw a slow breath in, then let it out just as slowly, matching the measured pace of the journey. The steady rhythm of wheels on rails becomes almost hypnotic, guiding your thoughts into softer, simpler shapes. You realize that this part of the journey is not about arrival, but about transition. It is a gradual leaving behind of one place and one pace of life, replaced by another that is calmer and more deliberate. The train understands this, and so do you. With each gentle curve and steady climb, you sink deeper into the calm of the moment, content to be carried forward through the winter night. The train reaches a point where the ascent eases, almost without announcement, and you sense the change before you see it. The Orient Express no longer strains upward, but glides forward with a calm, balanced confidence, as if it has reached a high, quiet threshold. Outside your window, the night has deepened into a clear winter darkness, and the moon now hangs above the mountains, pale and steady, casting a silver sheen across the snowbound world. You feel the gentle sway of the carriage as the train enters the heart of the Semmering Pass, a place shaped equally by nature and human patience. You cross the first great stone viaduct almost silently. The arches rise beneath you, unseen yet strongly felt, carrying the train across a deep, shadowed valley. For a moment, the sound of the rails changes, echoing faintly, then returning to its familiar rhythm. You imagine the valley below, filled with snow and moonlight, forests resting in stillness, the air cold and pure. The thought drifts through your mind and then dissolves, leaving behind only a sense of spacious calm. This railway, completed in the mid-1850s, was a triumph of its time. Engineers carved tunnels through solid rock and built sweeping bridges to tame the mountain route. As you travel here now, decades later, you feel the quiet assurance of that achievement. The Orient Express follows the curves with ease, respecting the contours of the land rather than forcing its way through. Each turn feels intentional, smooth, and reassuring, allowing your body to relax even more deeply into the motion. Moonlight spills across open slopes between stretches of forest. Snow reflects the light softly, creating a landscape that feels almost weightless. Dark lines of trees trace the hillsides, their forms gentle and still. Occasionally, the train slips into a tunnel, and the outside world disappears completely. For a few seconds, there is only the muted sound of wheels and the faint vibration beneath your feet. Then, just as gently, you emerge again into moonlit silence. These transitions feel soothing rather than abrupt, like slow blinks of the world itself. Inside the carriage, the atmosphere remains warm and hushed. The lamps glow steadily, their light softened by shades that cast no harsh edges. Reflections of brass fittings and polished wood drift across the window glass, mingling with the pale shapes of bridges and snow outside. You let your eyes follow these overlapping images without trying to separate them. Your breathing remains slow and even, guided naturally by the train's rhythm. As the train advances deeper into the pass, the curves grow more pronounced. The Orient Express leans gently into each one, rocking you with a slow, pendulum-like motion. You allow your body to follow, releasing your shoulders, letting your neck rest comfortably. Your hands feel warm and heavy, your legs relaxed, supported fully by the seat. There is nothing you need to adjust, nothing you need to do. The journey carries you effortlessly. Another viaduct approaches, longer this time, its arches spanning a wide, silent expanse. You sense the openness beneath you, a vastness filled with cold air and moonlit snow. Somewhere far below, a stream lies frozen or nearly so, its course hidden beneath white stillness. The train crosses steadily, without pause, as if floating. The sensation is subtle yet deeply calming, reminding you of how small movements can carry you through great spaces. Between bridges, the track winds through forested cuttings. Snow clings to the rocky walls on either side, sculpted into soft shapes by wind and time. Pine branches arch overhead in places, forming natural corridors through which the train passes. The moonlight filters down unevenly, creating patches of brightness and shadow that slide slowly past your window. You watch without effort, your gaze soft, your thoughts unhurried. Historically, travelers spoke of this stretch with awe, not only for its engineering but for its beauty. Even now, in the quiet of winter night, the Semmering Pass holds that sense of wonder, though it is gentler, more subdued. You do not feel excitement here, but something deeper and steadier, a peaceful appreciation that settles into your chest. The train seems to sense this mood, maintaining its unhurried pace, allowing the landscape to reveal itself gradually. A distant village appears briefly below, its lights clustered together like a small constellation against the dark earth. Snow-covered roofs reflect faintly, and a single road curves away into darkness. The sight passes quickly, replaced once more by forest and open slopes. You do not cling to the image. It fades naturally, as everything does on this journey, leaving behind only a sense of quiet continuity. The tunnels become longer now, carved deep through the mountain. Inside, the sound of the train grows softer, more enclosed, as if wrapped in stone. Your breathing slows further, matching the muted rhythm. When the train emerges again, the moon seems brighter by contrast, and the cold clarity of the night feels more pronounced, though still distant behind the glass. These alternating sensations lull you, like a slow, repeating pattern meant to ease you toward rest. You think briefly of the countless passengers who traveled this route before you. Diplomats, artists, merchants, and dreamers all passed through these same curves and tunnels, carried by steam and steel across the mountains. Their journeys are long finished now, but the railway remains, steady and enduring. There is comfort in that continuity, in knowing that this path has been followed safely for generations. As the train reaches the highest point of the pass, the motion evens out. The climb has ended, replaced by a smooth, level glide. The Orient Express seems to take a long, quiet breath here, as if pausing at the summit. You sense the shift intuitively, and your body responds by relaxing even more deeply. Your thoughts feel slower, softer, drifting like clouds across a winter sky. Outside, the landscape opens briefly, revealing a wide, moonlit basin framed by dark ridges. Snow blankets everything evenly, erasing sharp lines and edges. The scene feels timeless, untouched, as though it could belong to any winter in any century. You allow the image to fill your awareness, then gently let it go, returning to the steady presence of the carriage around you. The train begins to prepare for its descent, though the change is subtle at first. The curves remain gentle, the speed controlled. You feel a slight forward pull, barely noticeable, as gravity begins to assist the motion. The sound of the rails remains constant, soothing, familiar. Inside, the warmth and quiet continue unchanged, reinforcing the sense of safety and ease. Your body feels fully settled now. Any remaining tension has melted away, replaced by a pleasant heaviness. Your eyelids feel relaxed, perhaps drifting closed for moments at a time. If thoughts arise, they do so slowly and without urgency, fading almost as soon as they appear. The journey has become less about observation and more about sensation, the steady movement carrying you inward as much as forward. Another bridge passes beneath you, then another tunnel embraces the train briefly before releasing it back into moonlight. Each transition feels softer than the last, as if the world itself is slowing down in response to your calm. The Orient Express continues its measured glide through the Semmering Pass, honoring the mountain, the night, and the quiet needs of those it carries. As this section of the journey unfolds, you no longer feel the need to follow every detail. The rhythm has become enough. The gentle sway, the steady sound, the warmth of the carriage all work together, guiding you deeper into rest. The train moves on through bridges and tunnels, through light and shadow, while you remain perfectly at ease, carried forward by history, engineering, and the calm embrace of winter night. The descent begins gradually, the Orient Express easing downward with careful precision as the first stars appear in the clear alpine sky. The moon casts a pale light across the snow-draped valleys, reflecting off icy slopes and the frozen surfaces of small streams that weave through the landscape. You feel the subtle shift beneath you as the train tilts slightly with each curve, a gentle rocking that encourages your body to relax further. The rhythm of the wheels, steady and continuous, becomes a soft lullaby, guiding you into a deeper state of calm. The forests lining the track gradually thin, revealing open meadows and distant ridges. Snow-laden pines stand as silent sentinels, their dark silhouettes contrasted against the silver-tinged landscape. Occasional hamlets appear nestled into valleys, their rooftops capped with snow and windows glowing warmly from within. Each fleeting glimpse passes calmly, offering a quiet charm without demanding attention. You watch, and then let your focus drift back to the comfort of your seat, the warmth of the carriage, and the soothing motion of the train. Stone viaducts continue to appear intermittently along the line, graceful arches spanning narrow ravines. The sound beneath the train changes slightly as it crosses, echoing gently through the steel and stone, a soft reminder of the engineering marvels that make this passage possible. You notice the slight rise and fall with each bridge, subtle enough to deepen relaxation, like the ebb and flow of gentle waves. Your body responds instinctively, shoulders loosening, hands resting easily in your lap, and legs settling into the warmth of the seat. Snow-covered fields stretch beyond the forest edges, soft and expansive under the starlight. The train glides along, following curves that trace the natural contours of the land. You feel the ease in every motion, the controlled descent of the Orient Express as it navigates the gentle slopes. Each breath you take aligns naturally with the rhythm, slow and unhurried, your body fully supported, your mind settling into a peaceful quiet. Small villages appear briefly along the route, quiet and almost dreamlike in the soft glow of street lamps and fires within homes. Children's laughter is faint, carried on the winter air, mingling with the distant toll of a church bell. These sounds are muted, calming and unobtrusive, blending seamlessly with the gentle hum of the train and the soft whisper of snow falling beyond the carriage window. You take a slow breath, letting each exhale carry away the last vestiges of tension from your body. The approach to Mürzzuschlag reveals a sheltered valley framed by rising ridges and scattered clusters of homes and farms. Smoke curls lazily from chimneys, drifting into the crisp night air. The station comes into view, illuminated by soft lamps and reflected in the snow, welcoming the train with quiet dignity. You sense the slowing of the locomotive beneath you, a measured deceleration that marks the conclusion of the journey without abruptness, leaving you held in calm. Inside the carriage, the warmth and stillness remain, cocooning you in comfort. The lamps glow steadily, casting gentle light on polished wood and brass fittings. You allow your gaze to soften, eyes half closed, taking in the interior glow and the faint shimmer of the world beyond the window. The motion is minimal now, the steady click of the rails slowing to match the train's careful approach to the platform. As the train slows into Mürzzuschlag, the surrounding alpine landscape grows still. The ridges, snow-dusted meadows and distant trees settle into quiet silhouettes beneath the starlit sky. The carriage rocks very slightly with the final adjustment of the train, a last, gentle motion that eases you further into relaxation. You feel fully supported, both by the seat and by the steady presence of the rails, carried effortlessly into calm and rest. The platform arrives with a hushed grace, and the train comes to a smooth, final stop. The alpine night is deep and serene, lights glowing faintly along the station, snow still drifting gently in the air. You remain settled in your seat, breathing slow and even, feeling the warm embrace of the carriage, the quiet grandeur of the mountains, and the gentle completion of your journey. The Orient Express has carried you across the Semmering Pass with patience and care, leaving you calm, supported, and ready to drift toward restful sleep. As this gentle journey draws to its peaceful close, you feel the train completely at rest, its motion now only a memory held softly in your body. The rhythmic sounds that carried you across mountains and valleys have faded into a quiet stillness. Your breathing has slowed on its own, deep and unforced, each inhale calm, each exhale releasing what little remains of the day. You settle more comfortably where you are, aware of how fully supported your body feels. Your shoulders sink gently, your jaw loosens, and the muscles around your eyes soften. The warmth of the carriage lingers, wrapping around you like a familiar blanket, while outside the alpine night rests in silence beneath the stars. The image of snow-covered forests and stone bridges drifts through your mind without effort. You no longer need to follow the journey. It continues quietly on its own, carrying only echoes of motion and light. The mountains remain steady and timeless, and the station sleeps peacefully beneath a pale winter sky. With each slow breath, your thoughts become fewer and lighter. There is nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to prepare for. The night is spacious and kind, and rest arrives naturally, without being summoned. You may notice a gentle heaviness spreading through your limbs, a sign that your body is ready to let go. If your mind wanders, that is perfectly fine. Let it drift like snowflakes in the air, soft and unhurried. The warmth, the quiet, and the calm rhythm of the journey remain with you, steady and reassuring. You are safe, relaxed, and free to rest deeply. The lights grow dimmer now, the sounds more distant as sleep gently approaches. Allow yourself to drift, carried by the peaceful memory of rails beneath snow, moonlight over mountains, and a journey that ends in stillness. Sweet dreams and good night.